It is a Monday, Ham.
It is a Monday, which means I should blow something wide open. But Ando, permission to jag left for a second.
Wow. Yeah.
This is not so much a blow wide open as a curious inquisition.
Close to a head scratcher, or
It could be a head scratcher because it depends on my recollection of a conversation. So this is about something that you've said.
okay.
And it's about going, how much do you remember it? How much do you want to stick by it?
But you remember, you can't blow me wide.
I'm not blowing you wide open.
Okay, it just
I object. I'm sustained. You've got complete amnesty. You can't be blown wide open. I myself cannot blow myself wide open,
Yep.
nor can I blow Jack wide open.
but we blew Jack open once.
Well, that was a more of a warning shot.
Okay,
But you've got amnesty now, Jack.
If you-
Actually, I might remove your amnesty, Jack.
Well, I only had it for that 5 seconds because I didn't know I had it before.
Yeah, you're right. We can blow Jack open.
For those who
And
don't
Will.
know what this segment is,
Sorry,
blow
yeah,
something
yeah.
wide open is where Hamish uncovers the truth. No matter how deep he has to burrow, he'll come out with the truth.
Had a few people actually, news.com ran a headline recently that actually was in all caps on the website, blown wide open. And then it was, a court case or something. A lot of people noticed that and sent it in, going, hey, blow open news.com.au for using blown wide open.
Yep.
Which I will. Which I consider that just a casual. Yeah, Jack. Just consider that me. Even before this is like if we were in Top Gun, I'm walking out to the plane and I shot an enemy. I'm not even in the plane yet, and I'm down and bad, guys. So that's just one off the hip.
That's good. That's
Fast
good.
as you like, I've blown news.com wide open.
Yep.
But Ando, this just popped into my
You're
head
scared?
when we were talking about the dunk contest before.
Yes.
Now, I can't remember exactly what it is, so I'm not trying to paint you in a bad light here. Did you say, have you said that you can dunk? I recall you saying, yeah, I can dunk. I have to have a run up, like it's not, you can't bounce, dunk. You wouldn't do it in play,
Yep.
but you can run up and dunk a basketball. You have said that. Jack remembers it.
I have, but not a basketball. That was the only thing.
What have you dunked?
I dunked a softball.
So could you dunk a full-size basketball?
No.
Okay. Now, I thought maybe
This is
you'd
back in my heyday of my leaping years
But
as
you,
well.
this is
I've got an outstanding vertical leap.
Well, do you want to have a go at dunking? Because Jack and I both remember you saying to a group of people that you could dunk, but you couldn't bounce it. You could just dunk a softball.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you could dunk a softball?
No, not anymore.
What's the dunking ability?
Yeah. I mean, maybe if I wore really high shoes, like gave me a little
Stilts. Well, this is the thing. There was a part of me going, would you stand by the dunking claim?
No, I mean,
Because I think it was in the forum of a lot of people talking about basketball and you going, oh, look, I can dunk, but I don't like to do it too much. It had that vibe to it. Then there's two parts to this. If I'm challenging past claims,
Yeah.
then the dunking made me remember another one that I never called at the time, but has remained a head scratcher.
yeah, I've got a few.
Did you not tell us, and you're at high school, everyone in PE had to do a muscle up? And so a muscle up, for people that don't know, is where you hang under the Roman rings. So you've got to essentially do a chin up and then push the rings down to your waist. And
Yeah, we had to do that in gym.
you were like, because we shot a promo in like London when we were playing around with Roman rings, and you're like, I did a muscle up.
Well, we wouldn't
In
use
gym.
the term muscle up. We didn't even call it that. But you had to get up to that.
To that, like where the rings are down by your side.
Yep.
I don't know. They are very hard to do. I don't know if you did do that. Jack, do you remember that claim?
Well,
I do remember him
I'm
saying
going to
that,
stand by that because I remember doing them. Now, whether we were I've forgotten that we got assisted to do them, but I'm happy to go have a crack at that.
Well, here's the thing. I remember hearing that going, that is like, I feel that's like going to pass PE, we had to like, I don't know, do a 100-kilo deadlift or so, or a bench press. Like, it sounds like it just seems to be a very hard thing to do. Would you have a crack at a muscle up? Do you think you've still got it? Because you didn't have any gymnastics training.
No, but I think we could, like, if I think we started with the rings like from a standing start, so
Yeah.
you could jump.
So you could jump most of the way up.
Well, say if it's like, for safety's reason, we're only like, when we started the ring,
You're-
like this far off
So
the ground.
could you
10
do one
centi-
hanging, or do you need the jump to start?
Look,
Can we have a go and have a go at one?
I'd love to have a go.
Because here's what I'll do. If you can do a muscle up,
Yep.
which is that, so yeah, you're hanging under the Roman rings and you
Yep.
pull them all the way up and they end up by your hips.
okay.
If you can do one, I'll bake you a cake
Oh, great.
that says Andy is the best at sports forever on the top.
Okay, let's go have a crack at that.
All right, great. I'm glad one of the things I remembered you'll still stand by.
Hamish and Andy. Good afternoon, everyone. Hamish and Andy back to drive you home.
What a day,
And
Ando.
I know, the Grammys have just finished. T Swift has become the first woman ever to win Record of the Year twice.
That's what I heard.
But someone may overshadow it today.
She's not going to be happy with you if your challenge turns out to come true. If people were listening to yesterday's show, for various reasons, a couple of stats popped into my head.
Yeah.
Number one was that you claimed to have been able to do what's known as a muscle up when you're at high school, which is on Roman rings.
Yep.
If you're hanging there, just dangling from the Roman rings, you pull yourself up, then push your hands down to your hip. So you end
Yes.
up in a position where you're like supporting your whole body weight, your hands are by your side, and you've gone from like a hanging position right up to there. Very difficult to do, if you can imagine,
Yep.
just with shoulder strength alone. I remember you saying one time, yeah, I used to be able to do a muscle up. Had to do one at school. We weren't allowed to progress to year 11 until we'd done a muscle up.
I don't think I said any of the last bit.
But you did claim you'd
I
done a
claimed
muscle up.
Done a muscle up.
And then I also remember you claiming you could dunk.
Yeah.
So the challenge was laid down on yesterday's show. Andy, we will go somewhere that has Roman rings. We'll make you do a muscle up. Failing the muscle up, you then get a chance to redeem yourself with the dunk. Or if you succeeded the muscle up, go for the two.
Do a lap. Yeah, exactly.
Now,
Go and
it's
dunk
happened.
in celebration.
It's happened. I won't give anything away.
Have
I
been
will say it
successful?
didn't go the way either of us thought it would.
No, I'd agree with that. Hamish and Andy.
We got other bigger issues at hand, Ando. Namely, you wondering internally, have you performed? Have you achieved the correct level of bragging? Now, picture up on two things you've bragged about in the past.
Yep.
And we all do it.
Wasn't bragging, just stating facts.
Sounded a lot like, well, when someone says, hey guys, I can dunk. And we're all talking about how expensive bananas are getting. It does seem like a brag. When someone yells out, is anyone here a doctor? And you yell out, yeah, I can dunk. It just seems like you were veering the conversation into going, guys, in the right environment,
The point was I have dunked. That was.
I know you don't like people to know about it.
The point is I have dunked before.
And so you're bringing that up a lot. And then I also mentioned...
bringing it up a lot.
I did also
It happened
mention
in passing.
the fact that when we had to film something once where we were on Roman rings,
Yes.
Which people would know from the gymnastics at the Olympics, just the standard wooden rings that dangle down. We were mucking around on them, pretending we were good. And I mentioned a move that people can do. Like people that are very good gymnasts can do a move called a muscle up, where you sort of do a chin up and then you keep your hands going and push yourself all the way up so your hands end up down by your waist.
Yep.
And I thought I remembered, and we clarified it on yesterday's show. Jack did hear it with you going, I've muscled up.
We had to do. No, I just said we had to do them at high
At
school.
school. And you sometimes paint your high school in a picture that it was like better than you were pushed to do things that mere other kids could never dream of. And I was like to Jack, I don't know if Andy did a muscle up. That's a pretty tough move.
It was in the same gymnasium as I dunked.
Andy tries to make it sound like his high school was that one day of training they let you do in the Hunger Games before you go in the arena. You're like throwing javelins at dummies and torching things and just fighting people to the death. So Andy basically went to high school and you were done with maths. You had like Spartacus College
Yeah.
at lunchtime. Anyway, so it's part of his Spartacus training. He did muscle ups, he did dunks. So on yesterday's show, this all came to light. We said, you know what? I'm going to call... I've often wondered, I'm not thinking about this every day, but occasionally it pops back into my head. I'm going to call Approve It.
You called me out. You called out
Said,
approve it.
if you
So
can,
today,
let's go and do the muscle up somewhere. And if you can't pull it off, go and do the dunk.
or if I can, I'll
If
go
you
and
can,
dunk.
go and do the dunk. Let's go and do the muscle up and the dunk somewhere. And if you get them, I'll bake you a cake that on the top of the cake says Andy Lee is the best at sports.
Yeah, and
Which I know is your ultimate cake you want.
that is the cake. And look, heading into today, I was more confident with the muscle up than the dunk. We won't.
Which is fascinating to me because you don't ever do any gymnastics.
No.
It's not like it's not like you're like, I'm confident in the muscle up because I do a lot of pommel horse and some rings.
But the exciting thing about today is you've called me out. Now, we're going to reveal it after 5 o'clock.
Sure.
I had a bit of a moments of, tense moments today. I was thinking about going,
Well, you're YouTubing muscle up tutorials.
Yeah, I was. Trying to work out, the best kind of way to approach it. But 13-10-60 today, have you done a Hamish to someone?
Yep.
Have you called to prove it?
Yeah.
Has someone been saying that they could do something? Have you called them out and asked them to prove it? How did the proof it go? Because I'd like to know before we reveal how the results went for me today.
I'm not saying you were lying about the muscle up from when you're at school, but one big lie I told everyone was that I'd been off the 10-meter platform. And I told that lie so much, I George Costanza'd it. Like, it became that thing of, like, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Yeah, right.
And it wasn't until you and I had to jump off something very high overseas that I caught myself saying to myself, but hey, come on, you've jumped off the 10-meter platform. Then my brain was going, but no, you haven't. You've been telling people that, but I know you couldn't do it. So if someone had called to prove it on me for the 10-meter platform, would have been a great one to do.
Have someone in your life been walking around making a big claim from the past and you've called them out and it's saying to prove it, hey, you've done this to me today?
Over the years, you've claimed two things, which I've never seen with my own eye. Or eyes.
You were winking when you watched me.
I've never squinted and gazed at you with the one eye of justice. And I decided yesterday to call you on both of them. Out of the blue, for which I apologise.
It was very out of the blue, because I don't think I've discussed the muscle up, which is where you have Roman rings, you may see in the gymnastics, where you're dangling and you pull yourself up and then push yourself up.
Yeah, so that's it.
And
it's
so
a pull and a push.
The rings are basically by your hips and you're holding your weight.
And you're all locked out.
I haven't mentioned that for 7 years.
I don't know why it popped back in my head, but it just popped back into my head just now and went, you know what, Ando? I didn't call you out on this at the time, but I call foul. I don't think you did do a muscle up. But anyway, so 13-10-60, have you said to someone, hey, prove it? Because it's a male, we hate stereotypes at this show, but it is a bit of a male thing. The dangerous mix of when a guy goes, I would like to be able to do that, and I don't know that I can't do that.
Yes, sometimes
that turns into, I can do that.
Or I've done that. Brent, the Mixmaster legend of the show, is called out. Brent, you've had this happen to you, or you're calling someone else out?
Hoi, boys.
Hoi, Brent.
We've called out a mate who did the old personal trainer course and came out saying that he could bench 100 kilos.
That's I don't know a lot about benching, but I know that's 100 kilos is a very heavy weight.
Well, it's double what I'd reckon I could, if I was to have a crack at it, it's double that I reckon.
He weighs about 70 kilos, so I don't think it's really
I don't think even an ant could do that proportion, like 1.5 times its body weight. So did you make him do it?
Oh, yeah, he had no chance.
Yeah, so
what did he get up to?
Did you go up incrementally, or did you start with 100 kg with no one?
No, you start with 100 and he's got no chance.
Yeah.
And then we brought it back down. He got, I think, 67 somewhere there.
And I hope you took it off 1 kilo at a time. Okay, 99? Nope. 98?
Thank you, Brent. Paul, your friends made you...
Ahoy, Paul. What did your friends make you do?
They made me eat 30 cheeseburgers.
But
I said a few years ago I could do it, and we were going to a housewarming, and little to my knowledge that they'd all got around and got a few coins off everybody.
Yep.
Went down and bought these 30 cheeseburgers, and when I arrived after one of them had taken me to McDonald's for tea, and I polished off my usual double quarter pounder and a cheeseburger and an apple pie, I arrived there to 30 cheeseburgers.
Paul, no chance.
No, I wasn't. I was set up a little bit, but I got through 14 and a half before they were all chomping at the bit to get to the rest of them.
But Paul,
unbelievable.
I mean, 14 and a half is an exceptional effort, but I just don't think there's any chance you've ever eaten 30 in your life. Would you concede that now?
No, I don't. I think I could still nudge it now. I reckon I'm about 150 kilos myself. So.
This is my favourite thing about this.
I don't want to call myself out again, that's all. I think if the boys are listening, they'll set me up again.
Even when people like yourself have tried and barely got halfway, what is wrong with us that still makes us go, I could do it.
Yeah, I've been in training since.
Paul, you're a legend.
Good on you, Paul.
We'll watch what you say on this show.
Miku.
Yeah.
And are you calling someone out or are they calling you out?
Ahoy, boys. I'm calling someone else out.
Right. Who are you calling out?
We're about 15, and he said he could jump 2 meters in high jump. And he definitely couldn't. So we called him out for it. This was a new kid. And high jump was like...
Sorry. That's a great bit of the story, because first thing he said when he got to the school, or...
Oh, it was one of the first things. Like, some of the things he was saying just weren't adding up. Like, I don't know.
It's a good tactic, though, when you come to a new school to throw out a stat that'll get people talking and isn't immediately testable, because no one's going to go and drag out the high jump equipment.
Well, that was the dumb thing, because we had high jump like 3 days after that, and he's like saying he's the Terminator of it, and...
The Terminator, obviously known for jumping high.
We all remember that scene when he says, "I'll be back," then runs backwards and jumps over a backyard fence.
I'll be back to Frosby Flop.
And now, how did he go, Miku?
Well, he jumped 40 centimetres.
No, hang on. That's a world record lowest height.
He would have jumped higher than that, because that's a step over.
It's a step over.
No, I'm not joking. It was somewhere around... Okay, maybe I exaggerated.
It's a ruler.
You're calling me out. You're calling me out now.
We're calling you out for undercooking it, Miku.
We held
a poodle could jump 40 centimetres.
We had rabbits that jumped higher than that when we were in Sweden.
It was pretty low. It was like around half a metre at like minimum.
Not like that. How tall is this guy?
A baby can fall over an 80 centimetre bar.
That's why it was so hilarious. It was so bad. It was unbelievable.
Great work, Miku. If anyone went to Miku's school, we'd love to cross-reference the 40 centimetre high jump fail.
Wonderful tale of over-exaggerations and under-exaggerations.
Andrew, wrap this up
Ahoy,
for us,
boys.
mate.
Ahoy, Andrew.
I actually worked with a guy who said he was a professional nunchucker.
And I mean,
not a lot of use these days for professional nunchuckers.
No, I didn't think you could be.
Feudal Japan, they were popular.
Yes. So, when you're a professional nunchucker, that means it's his sole job normally.
Not an amateur.
No. Was he working? How was he getting work as a nunchucker?
So why was he working with you guys if he was a professional nunchucker?
He said he could do anything with nunchucks. He could beat anyone and do anything with them.
So how did you test this?
We tried to get him to bring nunchucks in for about 6 months, and finally he decided to bring them in, and it was a complete fail. He ended up whacking himself in the side of the face.
Big mistake. Big mistake from him, because by then it's built up so much that you probably have to levitate or something to impress everyone.
He's done 6 months of YouTube tutorials. I'll try to.
Andrew, the correct way to test him is to organise 20 ninjas to jump in one night, and he fights them one by one.
Well, mine's coming up after 5, the results of getting called out from my big call, Sam, over the years.
Well, I will say this. You jumped higher than 50 centimetres.
Yes. Haim, where are we now? You and I, after...
we're taking everyone back, aren't we?
Yesterday you brought up on the show 2 things that I haven't mentioned for years and years.
They've stuck with me, though. You did mention them, though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. One was that when we were filming something which used Roman rings that you might see at the Olympic gymnastics.
Yep.
Gymnasts kind of hang from them and
they do some crazy
flips.
stuff, don't they?
I'd mentioned that I could pull myself up from underneath the rings and then basically push them below me.
Push your hands down, yeah.
So the rings end up beside my waist.
And your kind of whole body is then, levitating up there, being supported by your locked out arms. It's called a muscle up.
Yeah, we've learned it's called a muscle up.
You went, at school we had to do them.
Yeah, we
and I was
had to.
I don't know, man. I mean, you talk a big game for the sports side of things at your school, but that seems like a professional gymnastics move, and I don't think you did them at school. So just went, all right, I'll let that one slide. I'll pop that in the top drawer. Yep. Somehow it came up yesterday on the show when we were talking about basketball dunking. You have said on more occasions than the muscle up, guys, I can dunk.
Yes, I have dunked.
I have dunked, therefore I can dunk. Keep it to yourselves. Let's go about our day.
And so,
ma'am, I will get to ordering my food. I just want to tell the table I can dunk. Anyway, I'll have the ravioli.
Anyway, so today you've called it in.
I've called it in.
You know what? All these years you've called it in.
I'm going to scratch this itch. We're going to go down to a gym that has Roman rings. And I'm going to watch you with my own eyes do the muscle up you claim to do in year 10. And we're going to go to a basketball court. And we're going to watch you dunk with the specific conditions you need to dunk, which is a squishy ball, and you don't have to bounce it.
That's right. They were the only terms. And we started at the gym for the muscle up.
All right, this is it, champ.
A bit nervous. Although you've made a good point before when you said, you know...
I feel like you're going to a boxing match.
Yeah, and you felt like my corner man, and we're walking up together.
We're really just walking through the back streets near the studio to the local CrossFit gym, of which we have not been before.
No.
Like, people come here and I assume, do muscle-ups as part of a bigger routine. Not many people, like, stride to the gym confidently to do one move. It's like coming down to do a sit-up and then leaving cheering.
But let's hope we're leaving cheering.
Listen, now you said you could do these at high school.
Yeah.
What are we talking here? So a dead hang, like hanging from the rings?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hang yourself up and push them down to your hips.
Yeah.
So you're all the way through.
Yeah. That's
sort of a chin up.
As that.
It's a chin up and a dip. Should be no more than 15 seconds. Now, how many goes do you get? First go, one go?
I would say I'm allowed as many goes as I like, because all I have to do is I did one. That's the whole point.
Suppose so.
But my guess is...
It'll get harder and harder.
I think
you want to hit it early.
Chalked up and on the rings, Andy's first attempt. Disclaimer, the rings sound like a fart. We promise it's not.
He's there. He's up. He's down. That was a great start. All right, so that was good. You did a chin up. You did half, and everyone thought you were on your way.
Well, you know that
this is good.
I don't normally spend a lot of time in these places.
That's all right. But you've got a gym at your house, so you should be doing these every night.
Roman Reigns muscle up, attempt number 2.
He's hanging, and he's hanging. He's on the rings. He's up. He's up. His hands next to his head. You're doing a high monkey. So you're sort of doing a victorious monkey.
Yeah. I weigh about 35 more kilos than I did back in the day.
Okay. But you've got stronger arms. Yeah. I mean, if you had man arms on a child's body, that would have been amazing.
Attempt number 3. And remember, it's definitely not a fart. It's just the sound of the Roman rings.
Come on, Ando. Remember what's on the line here. Yes.
Whoa. Okay,
Bring it up. Oh! We got the arms there. We just didn't get the lockout. We're so close.
Roman Reigns muscle up, attempt number 4.
It all comes down to the last attempt.
I'm actually doing better than I thought I'd do. All right.
Remember, you've done this before, so you say. So it's in your body.
Yeah, I mean...
Think about year 10.
Mr. Poiser was
That's me. I'm Mr. Poiser.
Yeah, exactly.
Get up there, Lee. Well, my name's not Mr. Poiser. Did he say that?
He was British, but he said...
Okay, swing it around. Swing it around. Come on, year 10. Think of year 10. He's back to the chin up. He's fighting. He's going to hook one arm through. He's fighting. Unfortunately, the head could not get above the rings. And it looks like we're moving to the basketball.
Give us a dunk.
Get him to do a slam dunk. If he does a dunk, he's still the best at sports. Sorry, I hadn't heard that audio.
Yeah.
That farting noise, that's phenomenal. Was
Yeah,
it
it's very
the rubbing of the ring, your hands on the ring?
I think so, but I didn't notice it. I didn't
hear it. I didn't hear it when we were down there. That is wonderful. If we put that in for extra comedic effect, going, it's just Andy doing gymnastics. Let's put some farts.
No, it's the sounds. But yeah, possibly distracting. The thing here, Sam, what's amazing about having a backup?
Sorry, I just got a Roman ring in here I was holding. Sorry, my mistake. Keep going. Try not to be distracted.
the dunk attempt's next. Yeah, whatever.
No, you'll get it. Good luck with the dunk. Still got a chance to redeem yourself.
Hey, today was a day that you were hoping would come for a long time. I was probably dreading it, but not knowing.
I was excited to see this day. Didn't really pop into my head till yesterday, but then once the idea came up, I just couldn't wait to see if the claims of Andy of yesteryear still held true. 2 big things you've mentioned that you've done before in your life. 2 big athletic claims. One is an athletic maneuver, a gymnastics maneuver known as a muscle up.
Failed dismally today.
On the Roman rings, you've got to do a chin up, then push your body up so your hands are down by your waist. We just heard a valiant attempt, but realistically never really got past that first pulling stage, and then there's a lot of kicking around and
there's flailing
anger from you.
Even if I managed to get up from there, I would have got a 0 from the judges because my form was very erratic.
Kicked your way up. So unfortunately, we left the gym going, oh no, at this stage you're none from 1, and you of 2 events. The other thing you claimed to be able to do was slam dunk. Not a basketball, but a ball of your choosing.
I was more confident with the muscle up.
Yeah, right.
But we went across to the cage ball area that you and I normally throw down hoops.
We had a lot of people saying, come to the State Basketball Centre. No. Keep it street. That's where Andy plays. That's where he knows how to dunk. We should point out for people, I'm not sure if it's clear from the audio, the ball you need to dunk is a very soft ball.
Yes.
Not a tennis ball, almost as big as a basketball, but a very, very squishy purple.
Just so I can hold it.
Plastic sort of plastic ball we got from the $2 shop. So not regulation, but...
No, because I can't palm a basketball.
No. So this is not a legal basketball move,
no.
But it's certainly done on a legal basketball court at the regulation height, and that was the challenge. The dunk. The dunk's what everyone's been talking about. Yeah. This will undo the failure of the muscle up.
Yeah,
this is worth 2.
I really
so you'll go one
really
up.
negative.
Now, is this ball from the $2 shop to your liking? It's a very, very soft.
There will be no complaints about the ball.
Squishy purple ball. Let's go over to the ring.
Let's go.
Let's have a little look at the ring. There she is.
Looks higher than usual, doesn't it? Does it?
Yeah. It's a normal basketball ring. I don't think they would make it an abnormally high one.
It's true.
At this point, Hamish and Andy split up, with Andy walking to the other side of the court to prepare for his first attempt.
There's no doubt he gives himself 0% chance to do this now.
I give myself almost 0 chance of getting this, having been underneath it.
When you're standing under a basketball ring, suddenly it's not the same as being in your bedroom, slam dunking dirty undies into the dirty washing basketball net. Good luck, Ando. I've got full faith.
Thank you.
Remember what's at stake. I'm going to bake you that cake that says you're the best at sports.
What's amazing is that I'm sitting here wondering how I can cheat.
I can see Andy talking to himself right now. I don't know what he's saying. I reckon he's going to run away.
All right, here we go.
All right, you going to do it?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to run away.
It was an option.
He's just going to... Turns around. Here he comes. He's running in. He's running in. He's leaping up. Oh, he's touched the ring, but he's thrown the ball. And he's looking to the crowd as if, does that count as a dunk? No, it doesn't. You have to get the purple ball in the ring.
I'm actually closer than I thought.
Slam dunk attempt number 2.
He's full of confidence. He's coming in for the second attempt. Oh, it's bounced out. He's near the ring, but the ball refuses to go in.
Slam dunk attempt number 3.
The run-up has got longer. He's walking now. He's running. He's running. Leaping up to dunk number 3.
Yeah!
You're the best at sports! You're the best at sports! I get a cake! I get a cake! Eddie is the best at sports! Woo! A flawless morning of sports!
Let's forget about the muscle up. Muscle ups are for wins.
No one even knows what a muscle up is. That's my boy. That's Andy Lee, my boy. Yeah. You give him 3 attempts and really soft ball, he can dunk that on you as long as there's no such thing as travel or double dribble. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised. I'm surprised myself.
Inspirational stuff for our Olympians to hear heading to Rio as they enter their final months of
Don't
preparation.
be as surprised when you achieve your goals, though, Olympians.
Oh, my God. Don't fall off the podium with shock. Look,
I was in shock.
I was so excited.
We'll get the video up in a little later on.
Before the end of the show. The thing is, I don't know, I forgot that it was a bet. I got so excited at you dunking, I forgot that I now face the ultimate payment. I have to bake you a cake. That was the deal. That says Andy Lee is the best at sports. Now that is, I mean, that's a kick in the pants. So that's really making me pay. And you will get to eat that cake, the sweetest tasting victory cake of all time. So a high stakes bet, very well won by you, Ando. You undid the failure of the muscle up. 13-10-60 though. We did mention this earlier in the show with people going, we've called people out to prove it before. I would like to know, does anyone have one of these going on at the moment, a live one, where you want to call someone out, usually a mate or a friend that's going, I can do something and no one really believes they can do it. If you've got one, we'll try and make it happen.
That'd be great.
But you've got to be prepared to bake them a cake that says that they're the best at something if you do lose.
Go to hamishandy.com to put them up. Hamish and Andy. Afternoon, everyone. Hamish and Andy to drive you home. Exciting day for me, Ham.
You've earned it, boy.
Have you made a cake?
You got a cake coming your way.
Have you baked me a cake?
I have made you a cake.
You've made the cake.
I made it.
This is because Hamish promised to make me a cake if
you did a slam dunk.
If I did a slam dunk.
Ando, here's a guarantee I'll give you. I will not lie I mean, I could just lie. I could just be lying, going, yeah, I made you a cake, and I ran out and bought one. I'm not lying. I made you a cake.
You made me a cake.
Will you enjoy it? Will it be satisfactory? Will it be up to the level you hope for to be a bet repayment because I said you couldn't slam dunk it with some specific circumstances? I'm not taking anything away from the dunk, but it did have to be with a non-basketball.
Oh, yeah, and I couldn't bounce on it.
No bouncing and a squishy ball, but you still dunked. Yeah. You dunked yesterday. I've got the cake. It's in the fridge because I didn't want it to go soft. I'll give it to you after 5 o'clock. And I have made it with my bare hands and craft.
From scratch.
From scratch.
Oh, okay.
No packet.
Hey, yesterday, look, a surprising day for me and for you, I think.
It was great. I mean, it came out the day before where you actually didn't do anything. I just remembered out of nowhere that I was like, didn't Andy say he could dunk a basketball like that? We never really called him on that, but he has said it before, like, I can dunk, I dunk, I'm capable of dunks, I do dunk, I enjoy dunking, I will dunk again, I have dunked. Dunks and me are not mutually exclusive. I like
Slam Andy, they used to call me back in the day.
And so it's just like, we've never really tested this, and that I have heard that fact can pop up many times. Social basketball games, like talking about days back in high school. Anyway, yesterday we went down to the basketball court. You had to get a special ball, not a basketball, but it was almost basketball size. It was sort of a soft $2 shot, plastic,
just so
squishy.
I could palm it because I can't.
You need to
got big enough hands with the basketball, and I certainly wouldn't be able to bounce it on the way up. To be honest, I surprised myself. I thought that I was delaying the inevitable of being called out for this.
When we stood under the ring and looked up at how high the ring was,
so high.
I was just like, absolutely got him. He's dead to rights. There's just no chance. I thought you were going to run away.
Yeah, well, at one point I thought about it. At one point I was sitting there at the top of my mark going, how can I cheat? I know I normally resort to cheating.
If he runs, he still hasn't disproved it.
Yeah, this is how it turned out, though.
Let's go over to the ring. Okay. Let's have a little look at the ring.
Looks higher than usual, doesn't it? Does it?
It's a normal basketball ring.
True.
He's walking now. He's running. Leaping up to dunk number 3. Yeah! You're the best in sports! You're the best in sports! I get a cake! I get a cake! Eddie is the best in sports! Woo!
And yes, you said if I could do it, you'd bake me a cake that said, written on the top of it, I was the best at sports.
Well, as much as I didn't want to have to follow through with that bet, Ando.
The video's at hamishnetty.com, by the way.
Great dunk. A bet is a bet. And now, Lizzie, would you please bring in the cake? I want this to be clear. I made this. This was not go down to the bakery and...
I think I'll be able to tell if you've made it, my friend.
Have a look. Have a look. This is a 100% made by H. Blake. Read the top.
Andy Lee, best at sports. It's, to describe it for everyone at home, it's about the size of a shoebox, which worries me.
Why is that worrying?
Well,
that's a big cake. That's the size of my cake tin.
It's square. It's got a nice icing over the top and then Smarties around it.
Bet complete. Well done, mate.
Well, a cake has a centre. And I know you love loopholes.
Ando, it's got the normal things inside the cake. It's got flour. It's beautiful. It's chocolate. It's a cake.
Hand me the knife.
What? You're not a cop. It's a cake. It looks like a cake. Look, taste me the icing.
Hand me the knife.
Certainly tastes like icing.
It looks like an iced something. Hand me the knife.
We can't. We're running too late.
I've got the knife.
No, Andy, you've had... A cake is a cake is a cake.
I've tried to cut through. It
might be slightly burnt. Now, did I lie? I said it had flour in it.
There's a bag of flour inside a box, everyone.
An iced box.
Now, I'd love to look up the definition of what a cake is. Let me go. Let's go to a song.
Is this a cake?
Let's debate this after the song.
Oh, hang on. 131060. Did I technically deliver a cake?
You've delivered icing on a box.
An icing? Is there such a cake that's just made of icing?
We'll debate it after this.
I'd like a chef to call up. A pastry chef.
You can go for or against 13.
And it also had a bag of flour in it, so there is flour.
Has a bet been fulfilled and paid out?
I just think
that is the headline for this break.
I am a bit sad that so much skepticism and investigation has gone into the cake that I made you to congratulate you for doing your slam dunk yesterday. A bet's a bet. I said, if you can do a slam dunk, I'll make you a cake that said Andy Lee is the best at sports. I made you the cake. Instead, rather than meeting it with open arms, you met it with squinty eyes and suspicion. And instead of slicing a nice piece off for yourself, you stabbed it right through the heart.
Well, it's because it looked and is. It looked like what it is, a cardboard box with icing on it.
When we brought it in and Andy goes, well, to paint the picture, it's about the size of a shoebox, which is worrying.
Yes.
Mentally, I went, geez, he's onto it straight away. But, now that I've been caught, interesting legal question. Have I actually made you a cake? A lot of people say yes. Rory, what's your vibe? Oh, sorry, Rory, our mistake there. What's your vibe?
Ahoy, boys.
Ahoy, Rory. Have I made Andy a cake?
I think you have. I think Andy's dunk didn't have all the elements of a dunk. Your cake only had to have some of the elements of cake. So
that's true.
By proof.
An eye for an eye.
but we
well done. Well done.
Well done and well, Rory. But we discussed the elements of the cake. You saying that the onus was on me. Sorry, of the dunk. You were saying the onus was on me.
You should have said I want a peach cobbler or I want an
upside down apple. The definition of a cake
is. I think you know Hamish well enough to know that if you don't lay out the actual restrictions, then you get what you're given.
A legal document that says an item of soft, sweet food with a mixture of flour or eggs.
Oh my
There's
God.
no eggs in there.
I came pretty close. Oh, there probably is eggs in the icing, and there's sugar in the icing. Andy, I might have done it.
Ruth, tell us, what do you think?
That's just not a cake at all. It needs to be baked. You asked for a cake, not for IKEA's version of a cake.
Did you say, I will bake you a cake?
Even if I did, it's a turn of phrase.
Well, let's have... I quickly ran out to ask our sound guru, Marshy,
in my
what
mind,
was actually said during the bet. Let's have a listen.
In my mind, bake is make. Same thing.
Let's have a listen.
If you can do one, I'll bake you a cake.
Oh, great.
I heard make.
Ruth, baking involves an oven, doesn't it?
It involves an oven. It involves heat.
I'd ask the members of the jury to take bake a cake as a very non-literal turn of phrase.
Well, we've got one each. Rob, you're a pastry cook by trade.
Here we go.
Hamish did ask for a shit.
All right, I'll ask you this, Rob. Is there such a cake on Earth that you could say is a cake that is just really a collection of icing?
No.
How good a cook are you, Rob? I mean, have you travelled the whole Earth looking at cakes?
Good. I'm amazing.
Yep. I was hoping you might turn out to be my witness.
My skills.
Yep.
Rob, tell us
cake, mate.
why isn't it a cake? Just name like 4 of the 50 things that make it not a cake.
Really? Oh, come on.
Yep.
It's not a cake. You didn't even mix it, let alone bake it. You did none of the things that you need to do to make a cake.
It's an iced box.
And is that not a cake? I am holding on to a spurious argument here. Now, look, I appreciate everyone's input, but at the end of the day, I've made you a cake. I've made you a cake-like thing.
There's a bet that you haven't fulfilled here, and I'm looking forward to the cake coming by at the end of the week.
Tomorrow, what will be the next problem with the cake? Oh, it's a picture of a cake. There's no pleasing you. There's no pleasing you.
It's Hamish and Andy.
God, the dunking, finicky mate.